Use on-chain data to understand Bitcoin. Welcome to Mr. Big. You may think the stronger Bitcoin rises, the healthier the bull market must be. But that is not always true. Sometimes the real danger is not a red candle. The danger is that almost everyone in the market is already sitting on a fat unrealized profit. On-chain data is brutal in this way. When price breaks higher, social media gets loud, and your friends start asking how to buy Bitcoin. The chain may already be flashing a warning. Too many holders have too much profit. In markets, unrealized profit is not belief. It is potential future selling pressure. Today, we will use 4 on-chain MVRV tools to answer a simple question. When is Bitcoin cheap? When is it risky? And when is the crowd just giving each other courage? Before formulas, think of one simple household ledger. Imagine a home that was bought for $300,000 and is now quoted at $500,000. On paper, the owner has a $200,000 profit, but that profit becomes real only if the home is sold. Bitcoin works in a similar way. MVRV compares two things: the market value of all coins at today's price, and the realized value, which you can roughly think of as the on-chain cost basis of those coins. So the question is not only, did price go up? The question is, how far is today's market price above the average on-chain cost? Price tells you what is happening on the chart. MVRV tells you how much pressure, temptation, or pain may be sitting inside the holder base. The first layer is the basic MVRV ratio. In plain English, it asks whether the whole market is sitting on too much profit. When MVRV rises, market value is moving farther above realized value. That means more holders are in profit, and the temptation to lock in gains gets stronger. A high reading does not mean Bitcoin must crash tomorrow. It is more like a risk thermometer. If the thermometer says 39 degrees, you may not faint in the next second, but it is hard to call the body perfectly healthy. The opposite matters too. When MVRV moves near or below 1, the market price is close to the aggregate on-chain cost basis. That is usually not the loud, exciting phase. It is the phase when people stop watching Bitcoin videos, and long-term capital may quietly start paying attention. The second layer is MVRV Z-Score. If the basic ratio asks, how many times above cost is the market? The Z-Score asks a sharper question. Is that distance historically weird? Do not be scared by the word standard deviation. Here, it simply means we are comparing the gap between market value and realized value against Bitcoin's own historical volatility. A small extra expense may be huge for a household and meaningless for a large company. The same idea applies here. The Z-Score tells us whether the market's optimism has moved far beyond what on-chain cost can comfortably support. In late cycle conditions, it can help you fight greed. In deep bear markets, it can help you fight fear. But by itself, it still cannot replace liquidity, rates, exchange flows, stablecoin supply, or market structure. Now we split the crowd. Long-term holders are usually defined as coins held for at least 155 days. Long-term holder MVRV looks only at that group. Its job is not to ask whether Bitcoin is expensive in general. It asks whether the most patient holders are sitting on enough profit to become sellers. This matters because many beginners misunderstand market tops. They think a top happens because nobody wants to buy anymore. Very often, the opposite is true. A top can form when new buyers are excited enough to provide liquidity for old holders to distribute into. Long-term holders are not magic diamond hands. They are simply more patient. When their unrealized profit gets large and the crowd gets euphoric, patience can turn into supply. Short-term holders are the newer money. Coins held for less than 155 days. Short-term holder, MVRV, is one of the cleanest mood gauges in the market because these holders bought closer to the current price. When price rises, they FOMO quickly. When price falls, they panic quickly. Above 1, the short-term cohort is, on average, in profit. That can feed excitement and chasing. Below 1, recent buyers are underwater. That can be either a healthy bull market shakeout or the beginning of a deeper bear market feedback loop. The difference depends on the rest of the structure. Is long-term holder behavior still stable? Is price holding key ranges? Is liquidity improving or fading? The number is useful, but the context is the trade. Now put the 4 signals together. Do not use them as a crystal ball. Use them as a risk map. First, MVRV ratio tells you whether the whole market is cheap, normal, or profit-heavy compared with on-chain cost. Second, Z-Score tells you whether that gap is historically stretched. Third, long-term holder MVRV tells you whether old coins have a reason to distribute. Fourth, short-term holder MVRV tells you whether new buyers are euphoric or wounded. If all four are hot at the same time, the market is not automatically at the exact top, but risk control becomes more important. If MVRV is low, Z-Score is depressed, short-term holders are underwater, and nobody wants to talk about Bitcoin, that is when long-term research becomes more interesting. The goal is not to trade every wiggle. The goal is to stay calm when the market gets loud, and keep studying when the market gets cold. The biggest mistake is treating MVRV like a short-term prediction machine. It is not. A high reading does not guarantee an immediate crash, and a low reading does not guarantee an immediate rally. It is a cycle and valuation tool. You still need macro liquidity, market structure, volume, exchange flows, stablecoin supply, and news catalysts. The real value of on-chain data is that it helps you see human behavior before it fully shows up in price. Who is in profit? Who is in pain? Who has motivation to sell? Who may be forced to sell? That is closer to the truth than price alone. Bull markets are expensive in many ways, but the most expensive thing may be believing you cannot become someone else's exit liquidity. This video is personal research based only on public data. It is not investment advice. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.